advantage is in Wisp's favour, and with mutas and these roaches he will be able to push this army back across the map. Not exactly sure why he's destroying the destructible rocks, but he is. Now, that's a lot of creep tumors. Nothing wrong with that. Apparently he wants to go for a third expansion, which is slightly safer than the gold, which I don't blame him. He is about to mine out his main, so nothing wrong with that. We can see Evan is just doing more of the same, really. Mass Gateway Immortal, which is quite interesting. It's not an uncommon strat. I feel maybe he should have got a Observer or two. Not saying that he's losing, but I think an Observer or two would have been really good, because then he would have been able to push this creep back across this map and possibly keep an eye on his opponent's army, just make sure he knows what's happening, that kind of stuff. We do see level 2 missile attack coming up. I mean, if he'd have an observer in the enemy's base, he would have seen this spire a lot earlier and be more prepared. Now, I was saying that he's going to take a third and be slightly safer. No, he's just going to throw caution to the wind and secure 2 expansions. Nothing wrong with that. He will then be on 4 base while his opponent will be on 2, and given that they're both about to mine out them, well, this guy's still fairly slow because he hasn't actually resaturated, so he'll be running on 3 base while his opponent is running on 1.1. We can now see these mutas pulling back, having done on a fairly successful poke. He didn't really do anything, but you don't really need to. He's forced the enemy to go to the counter to Mutalisks, which he can then easily counter with his Lings and Roaches. Lings are very, very good against Stalkers. It's kind of frightening. We can now see the fact that they are speed Lings, which is always a good idea. Now, 2 infestation pits. I'd say that was probably a mistake. Oh, the spikes, right, okay. Now we can, personally, if I'm going for a Ling something on ground army, I prefer to go armor first, because then both your ranged and your melee units get the armor bonus, but that's just my personal preference for armor versus attack. I mean, upgrades in general are just kind of awesome. +1 or 2 damage doesn't really sound like much, but it does actually make quite a large amount of difference. And Winds is falling behind because he hasn't upgraded his army at all, because as we can see, Wisp has gone for 1 air upgrade and 1 soon to be 2 ranged upgrades, and this is quite a large amount of links. That is going to make their life very, very difficult, given that these zealots haven't been upgraded weapon-wise, so they're still 3 hitting rather than 2 hitting. I just got a message on Steam. I wonder if you realise this is very good by Wisp. They're going to attack. Nice. He managed to trap an Immortal, quite a large amount of forces, and this allowed his Roaches to catch up and start dealing the major damage. That Immortal went down, which is a big, big advantage. We can now see him pushing out across the map. Where are his mutas? I missed them. Where'd they go? His mutas are hanging back here. Oh well, they aren't really needed. Again, both players favouring the more defensive style, which is, well, maybe more defensive, more conservative style, which is, he lost that base. I didn't realise, which is, in my opinion, better, because it means you cannot really overextend to lose. It means, if you overextend just a tiny bit and the opponent's aware of this, they can punish you. I've said that before, but it's still true. We can now see him pushing back across the map with a rejuvenated force from Warp Gates for the win. Big fan of Protoss, to be honest. Now, we do see 4 more mutas heading out across the map with a collection of, quite a few. We're looking at about 12 mutas. This force is kind of getting frightening. The Protoss ball is hard to deal with. There's a couple of sentries in there, enough to be dangerous. There's enough zealots. The Stalkers are the really important stuff, and I mean, these wow, you are just pumping the mutas. Aha, we do see Colossi. Haha, this could quite easily change change the battlefield. However, mutas do fairly well against Colossi. It's not great, but they do fairly well. We do now see that, again, playing the more conservative style of play, which I've got nothing against. The Colossi has come out, and he is now aware of this. This Colossi will start carving through the links. However, this Colossi caught out of position, which is not good. This Colossi is going to go down, and this army needs to get out, or I think it's going to die. We do see that I am at a whopping 4 frames a second at the moment. That's wonderful. Though 4 frames a second at 25 frames a second is quite an interesting sight, so I've been told. We do now see these roaches about to start getting the concave on the stalkers, and they're just going to tear them to bits because of their acid saliva +2. Yeah, that's right, +2 acids. I spit on you, +2. ShadowWisp possibly not doing the best job with his injection, but yeah, we all do that quite a lot. You know what, my hotkey for queens is always 6, and my hotkey for hatcheries is always 5. I just want to go 6, shift, 5. No wait, 6, shift, V, 5. That would be so cool. I want to do it. That's what I want to happen. Although that would be kind of cheating, because then you could just go, make workers eternally, and that just starts to get, the computer's doing more than you are. Which is, not what Starcraft's all about, I guess. Now, again, both playing more conservative, but I do feel that if Wisp wanted to, he could just put all his army, mutas included, and push in. It wouldn't be a bad idea. We do now see a fairly large amount of lings being hotkeyed to this area. This area is good. That allows him to get to any of his bases fairly quickly. He is holding map control. Evan is now going for the goal, which I don't think is going to work. Evan is going to get his proverbial butt kicked. I think these Colossi are being caught out of position and are going to be 1 down. He needs to get the hell out of there, or he's going to lose all those mutas. He did manage to get 1 Colossi, which is a big difference given that predominantly his army is on the ground. Now, personally, at this point, I would be pumping out a few Corruptors because I think it's needed. Pardon me, guys. 1 or 2 Corruptors could just make very short work of the Colossi, which I think is what's needed. But then again, each their own. I'm actually surprised he hasn't upgraded the lings yet. I mean, he's synced a lot of upgrades. Well, 2 upgrades. There we go. We can see melee 1 and adrenal glands. Right, cracklings are going to turn the tide of this battle very sharply into Wisp's favour. But I'm surprised he didn't do it earlier, given he'd already given the range 2 upgrades. And as you can see, that is a large force of, wow, 5 tabs of 24. Holy crap. 4 tabs of 24. That's still quite, that's like 50 pop of, well, okay, let's just go units. That is 50 pop of lings, everybody. 50 pop of lings. That's a lot, especially when they're going to be cracklings soon. We do now see him trying to leave any advantage he can out of these mutas. He may be able to snipe this Colossi, although I do slightly doubt it, given it's running towards a large Stalker army. Yeah, I think he just lost 1, 2 mutas, so not the best, but doesn't really matter. As far as I'm concerned, this Ling army is about to just sweep across the map, destroying everything in its path, if we just wait for level 1 and crack. Yeah, we're just waiting on crack. Level 1 ground armies is... level 1 ground weapons is also going up for the Protoss player, which will turn the tide into their advantage. These mutas are getting picked off, and I think that's all for the muta play for the rest of the game. However, we do see some ultras coming, and I think if he builds a couple of ultras, then he'll just be able to push out and win the game. Ultras they hold a special place in my heart, because they're awesome. Ultras are amazing units. One of my favourite strategies is just Ling, Roach, Ultra, and my ally would just go Mass Phoenix. I'm a 2v2 guy. This army... Ooh, come on, it's so close. 10 more seconds and he would have been able to take you. That's just... Come on. Ooh. You know, I heard you can now auto-unburrow. I don't get that. I haven't tried it yet, but apparently if they're burrowed and you click Shift Burrow, when something's within its attack range, they'll unburrow and then reburrow. well, like unburrow attack until it all dies and then burrow. It's a little odd. I mean, I guess it makes a certain sense. It's kind of like just saying hold position except burrow mode. It's kind of cool, and I haven't seen it used yet. I'll have to try it out sometime. I also have to try out the new SC2 custom games. I'm planning to do some videos on them later. We do see that is a large amount of lings, and in they go. Those lings are gonna die. Colossi do tear lings to pieces, but once lings are within range, they will just tear your army to pieces, especially if they're crack lings. We do see a lot of lings and a lot of ultras being produced. Army wise, we can see one person sitting at 150 food, the other sitting at 188. Yep, you're boned, Evans. When these 5 ultralisks pop, I think ShadowWisp will be pushing out across the map to deal as much damage as humanly possible, which I'd suggest is going to end in disaster for Evans. Disaster in the form of 2 Gs. GG! We do see a small push coming out, which could slightly dent their plans. However, the ultralisks are popping. Now, where are they popping from? One there, I think. 1, 2... one from, like, everywhere. Now, with these 5 ultralisks, he did lose... no, he didn't. Where are the lings? Oh my god. That was good. Those lings just went around. Oh, that army is just gone. That was well done by Wisp. Going the long way round just to make sure that this army could not at all, no way, retreat. Taking amazingly heavy losses in the lings. There's now only 15 left from 115, but that's what lings are for. They're cannon fodder. They did massive damage. These 5 ultralisks and roaches will be able to tear these stalkers to bits, and this is GG. I don't actually think there is anything the Protoss can do. Yeah, sure, there's a lot of cannons. There's 2 pylons, and if Wisp has noticed this, he will focus on it. Yep, as we can see, this ultralisk is going to take down this pylon, and it might die first, actually. There we go. This pylon is on 21 HP. Come on, snipe it. Come on, Roach, you can do it. Oh, this army is being nullified. Cannons for the win. However, I'd suggest... oh, crap. 70 lings, yeah, that's going to finish it. 70 lings is on the production line. I don't actually think it's going to be humanly possible for Wisp not to win with 70 lings at the moment. 70 pretty upgraded lings versus like 10 stalkers. We can see the stream of lings coming across, the sea of lings. These lings are going to be engaging, and yeah, even zealots can't do jack. More and more lings are just pouring in. These lings will move faster than your units, they will do more damage than your units, they will do more everything than your units, therefore you will die. I hate cracklings, I think they're the most OP thing in the game. Yes, I am being serious, they are just ridiculous. Look, they're just flattening the army, look, there's just, because you can get so many of them. GG Mass Newbie, yeah. That wasn't a very nice thing to say. He outplayed you very well, in my opinion. Now, I'm just going to pause this replay just for a second. Now, well, pause, it's the end. GG Mass Newbie. Yeah, he kicked your ass. Now, basically Wisp won because he got more bases and played better. I mean, that trick where he just went no and in the back just to make sure he got the Colossi because they're the longest range units, make sure to pin them against the wall, that was very well done. That was amazingly well done. That is one of those, that is micro that isn't very intensive but will change the plane of a fight drastically. That probably changed that fight from a loss to a win very, very, very quickly for very little micro effort. And as we can see, kudos to both players on about 90 average APM. This is KEnODvT. Have a GG on me, and I love my new microphone. Hopefully you guys do too.